Welcome, my dear brothers and sisters, our seminarians, to this very solemn and important celebration of the Holy Roman Catholic Church. So the whole Universal Church today celebrates what we call the solemnity of all the saints, todos los santos. But of course, when we celebrate, especially the Filipinos, when we celebrate November 1st, we are only reminded of the dead. Yung mga mahal na yumao, yung mga pumanaw na, sama natin sa panalangin, but we forget the saints who had gone ahead of us. Of course, they are also dead. But the point is that this celebration for today is really for the saints, and it has a purpose. Well, this year's celebration of Undas is so different because we have the whole weekend. So today is November 1st, it's Friday. Tomorrow is November 2nd, it's Saturday. Unlike before, sometimes the November 1st will come on a Sunday, and the November 2nd will only be on a Monday. And then the Monday, the people already forget that that is already the celebration for the dead. They do not anymore go to the cemetery because after all, tapos na rin yung holiday. Yung mga tao sa probinsya, nag-uuwian na, bumabalik sa Maynila. So, we really forget, we only remember the dead, but we forget the saints. So we will take this opportunity to remember the saints. Who are the saints? Who are we celebrating today? Well, todos los santos, all of them. But especially giving emphasis on those who do not have assigned dates in the church, in the calendar, in our calendars. You will not find them. And so today, we celebrate these people who are considered holy, and the church believes that they are in heaven. If we look at the lives of the saints, they are just ordinary people, ordinary human beings, just like you and me. Sometimes good, and most of the time bad. Last Tuesday, I had my class with my introduction to the philosophy with my students. I asked them, you examine your lives throughout the day. How many times you are good, and how many times you are bad? And they answered, most of the time, we are bad. At least they are honest to accept it. Because to become a saint begins with honesty, accepting our faults. If you are not willing to accept your faults, you can never go to heaven. Because our journey towards heaven begins in this life. Blessed are you who are poor. Blessed are you who are mourn. Who are these people who are weeping? Are they those who are already in heaven? No. They are here on earth. They are weeping. Why? Because they do not understand life. The Republic of the Philippines is 80% Catholics. That's a big number. And how many times typhoons come to us? They say an average of 20 typhoons every year. Kaya magsimula sa alphabet A hanggang sa katapusan nan, uubusin yan. Sometimes kulang pa, babalik pa sa A. And then, you start to question, is there a God? Why is God doing this to our country? Look at those people suffering because of paghagupit ng bagyong si Christine. And they are still suffering now. Well, ito yung time nila. Pero we had also our times. Kami rin doon sa amin. We had also how many months walang electricity, napakahirap ang gasolina, napakahaba ng pila, kahit saan. Because of all these calamities. And then why does God allow people to suffer, especially those who are considered as good ones? I have my sister. She is sick with cancer. She has just been discharged from St. Luke's Hospital. I also ask God. I am also a human person like you, although I'm a priest. And I ask, Lord, what has my sister done? She's a good girl. She's a good mother. And look, she's suffering from cancer of the pancreas. At alam niyo naman, pag narinig yung cancer of the pancreas, parang wala na talagang pag-asa eh. Tomorrow you will die. Well, accepted na niya, tomorrow she will die. We also have accepted that tomorrow she will die, but she has not died yet. All these things will come to our life. And so, we mourn, we weep, we are in sorrow, we seek for answers to the mysteries and the questions in our life. Who will give that to us? We look up to the saints. Because the saints have also questions. They also doubted a lot. Because they are just like any one of us. I remember Saint Jerome. You know Saint Jerome because you know the Bible. So Saint Jerome, before he started the Vulgata, he collected the different, the New Testament and the Old Testament, put that together and written in Latin. It was translated into Latin by Saint Jerome. But before he did that, he was the personal secretary of the Pope at the time. So he was living in Vatican. And he wrote in one of his letters to one of his lady Roman friends, he said that I am leaving Rome, and I do not like the lives of the Roman clergy, and I also do not like to be like them, because now I realize that I would like to be always dancing with Roman beautiful ladies every night. And so Saint Jerome left Rome. He went to Jerusalem. Well, good enough. Kung hindi siya umalis doon, baka wala tayong Vulgata, wala tayong Bible that we are familiar with right now. Mabuti na lang, umalis din siya. But did it stop? So, he was now residing in the cave in Jerusalem, near the cave where Jesus was born. And then he wrote again to his beautiful Roman friend. He said, my intention of leaving Rome is to fight against lust, L-U-S-T, lust, which all of us have. That was really my intention. But now, in this small cave where I am living, I still continue to struggle with this lust. He's so courageous and honest enough to accept it and asking the Lord to help him. These are the saints. So the saints are not extraordinary people. We call them church heroes, but they are not super human beings. They are not supermen and superwomen. But they just continue to live life here on earth, trying to struggle, trying to fight, because they know that they do not belong to this world. Jesus said, yes, you are worldly. Those who are followers, those who follow me, does not mean that you do not anymore belong to this world. You are still in this world. But be reminded that you are not meant for this world. And there are so many saints, so many. We remember all of them. They could be your parents. I remember my father. If I will be the Pope, I will proclaim him and I will canonize him, and he will become a mother for all fathers. I could never forget. He is so masipag. Napakasipag yung father ko namin. Pakita ko sa inyo bakit siya masipag. Nakagawa siya ng 12 anak sa isang nanay. Ganon kasipag ang aming tatay. Until now, wala namang lumalabas na meron kaming kapatid sa labas. So, isang nanay lang. But, sinusuklian din naman niya ng loyalty and commitment. Tingnan niyo mga kapatid. When I was working, we were already in high school. I was already in high school. 3 of us na 4 na mga lalaki. 4 kami magkasunod doon sa high school. Papasok yan sa trabaho. Tatanggap ng sweldo. Every 15 and every 30th yata yon. 2 beses. Yung kanya sweldo, nakasobra yan. I do not know kung ganun pa rin ngayon. Nakasobra yan. Closed yan. Galing sa cashier ng kumpanya. He was working in Atlas Mining Company at ACMDC, Atlas Consolidated Mining Development Company. That is the 3rd largest copper mining. Dala niya yung sobre, makikita namin, bibigay sa nanay. Not opened at all. Nanay has to open it, makikita niya yung laman kung magkano ang kanyang sweldo. And paghapon, ibibigay sa kanya yung kaniyang traveling allowance. And we saw it with our own eyes. I saw it with my own eyes. When I was to be ordained, when I told him that I would like to enter the seminary, he was against it. No, you have to help your brothers and your sisters. I want you to be a lawyer. That was what he said. And then I told him, okay, papasok ako I will study, I will become a lawyer, but after I become a lawyer, I will enter the seminary. Sabi, ang tigas ng ulo mo. So dahil matigas ang ulo ko, pumasok ako sa seminaryo. Ngayon, naging SVD priest ako. There is a small ritual before you are ordained, wherein you will be placed in a room, the ordinandus with his parents. And the parents will be lay their hands on the priest to be ordained. And so my parents, I can feel it And then my father after that told me, dahil yun ang sinunod mo, panindigan mo yan. Pangatawanan mo yan. And so, if I have, every time I go home, I visit the cemetery kung nasoon sila. My first prayer always in front of my parents, especially in front of my father. Father, mea culpa, mea culpa. I had not been true all the time to what I have promised to you. When you make a promise, fulfill it. A challenge to our seminarians, because very seldom that I can talk to you this way, because we are always in class, and we have to be faithful to our syllabus. When you entered and make your yes, that you want to follow the Lord in a very special way as a priest and a religious, did you tell the Lord that I will do it, Lord, year by year? Or is it forever? Baka iba yung generation namin. Baka iba yung generation ninyo. But I think it's the same promise that we make. When I entered the seminary, that was it. Against all odds. Against my father's wish. Kasi ayaw niya. Tuloy-tuloy na hanggang ngayon. I'm already 63 years old. Malata ba, Badong? How many years in the priesthood? Because when I said yes, I meant it. How about you? It is between you and your God. But we have our models, and these are the saints. We should be inspired by all the saints. The saints are also weak people. They are also selfish. They are also self-centered. We will take the example. Saint Paul, who is so popular to us, so familiar with all the followers of Jesus. Saint Paul, he started as a persecutor. He persecuted all. He is the number one sinner. But because he allowed himself to be touched by the grace of God, that is life. We should allow every day to be touched. Yes, we are not faithful all the time. But what is important that we allow the grace of God to touch us. And that is Saint Paul. Look at Saint Augustine, another familiar and popular saint. He never wanted at the beginning, because according to him, the Bible and faith is only for those who are poor, those who are uneducated, who do not know Latin. That is Saint Augustine. So he postponed, until now. He heard a voice telling him from a verse from Romans chapter 13. Take and read. And so he read it. And that was the beginning. You just have to stop once in a while and be attuned to the grace of God every moment of our lives. And my last point is that, everything, including human beings, are equipped within ourselves the capacity to become saints. Because our end and our purpose in life, we are meant to be transcendent beings. Transcendence means going beyond what you are now. Yes, you are in this world. What you see are material things. That is correct because you are also matter. But do not forget that you have the other dimension of your existence, and that is the spiritual. You call that the soul. And the soul of every human being will always persevere. It will not end. And so that is the capacity that is given to us, the faculty that we can always transcend, go beyond the temptations of this world, to possess and to possess, to acquire. And you forget that there are people who are in need. You become self-centered. But we are meant, as the solemnity today reminds us, that we can always transcend because we are meant for transcendence. Our life ends with the Creator, and we will never stop until we reach the end of our journey. And in this beautiful prayer, when the body of the dead body of our brother or sister, and then a beautiful prayer by the priest. Doon, wala ng kalungkutan. Doon, wala ng luha. Doon, puro kagalakan. Ano yung doon? Do you have a doon in your life? Or you forgot that you have a doon? And what is that doon? That is your end. And what is that? That is heaven. So the first reading reminds us that that is our destiny. Brothers, we are God's children now. But everyone, we don't know that when it is revealed, we shall be like Him, for we shall see Him as He is. Everyone who has this hope based on Him makes himself pure as He is pure. Where is that? Doon. And what is that doon? The paradise that we are seeking while still living in this lacrimarum valley, in this world of tears. Amen. Let us all rise, proclaim our faith. I believe in one God.